Hey everybody, we're going to go live on YouTube, which is nothing we've done before, but we thought today would be a good day to do so. We're going to do a demo today using Kanti as the model for alternatives to Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. So many of us really love flow yoga, but can often feel like over time it can be taxing on the shoulder joints. And so I've had a number of students lately say, what is an alternative? Because either my wrist or my elbow or my shoulder hurt. So today we're going to do a really strengthening, fortifying flow for the shoulder girdle. It'll involve some forearm dog, also known as dolphin, forearm plank, side plank. And the one thing to remember is that all of these can be modified to whatever you're feeling in your body today. So the thing about a yoga practice that's different from a lot of other exercise regimes is that in yoga, we're really not trying to get anywhere. If we get more flexible or more strength, that's a beautiful benefit of the practice. But what we're really looking to do is to show up for our bodies exactly as they are right now. And that's different day to day. So without further ado, I'll allow us to take a few moments here just to collect ourselves and ground. So when I say collect ourselves and ground, what does that really mean? Well, coming into a comfortable seat. And so for me, even though I'm relatively open-hipped, I like to put a cushion underneath my bottom so that the hips are a little bit higher than the knees. Maybe take a few deep breaths. If you're in a space where it feels safe enough to close your eyes, great. If you're not, that's okay. You can allow your eyes to be open, maybe downcast, or it can be settling for some of our nervous systems to even look around and track the room. Whatever allows you to feel settled and notice your breath, notice your energy right now. And if it's available to you in the space you're in, let's place one hand to the floor, connecting with the energy and the element of earth. And one hand, another place on your body. Maybe it's your heart, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your lap. Something that allows you to feel into these earth bodies exactly as they are. And the incredible gift of Mother Earth herself and that feeling of being in relationship with land. Here on Whidbey Island, we are on the land of the Coast Salish people. A land that provides us with immense beauty, immense graciousness. The generosity of land is so apparent where we are in our trees and our flowers and the waters. And it can be very settling for our nervous system just to go put our feet in the earth, our bare feet right in the earth. And remember that these earth bodies are truly an extension of Mother Earth herself. When we care for our bodies, we are more likely to show up in a good way for the land and the water, plants and the animals, and each other. Let's bring both our hands to our heart. May our practice settle our nervous system, settle our bodies, and allow us to experience some fortification. So we'll be focusing on the shoulders. The shoulders, some say, are the wings of the heart. Fortifying our boundaries so that we give from a true place, so that we are open to receiving. We'll begin with one Om. All right, my dear. So we'll begin Kanti today on hands and knees, hands and knees. And as Kanti comes to hands and knees, I'm going to kind of come behind her here. Push down into the pointer finger knuckles. So she's really going to ground down here in the pointer finger knuckles, and then bring the fingertips down and lift the rest of the fingers up. So you're making almost like a suction cup, and it might look like a spider, yeah? So rooting down here in that pointer finger knuckle is important, and then she'll come to down dog from here. And so in this down dog, really feeling the fingertips grip, the pointer finger knuckles root, and then the rest of the fingers be up away from the floor. When we root that pointer finger knuckle down, it fortifies that shoulder joint. And then we can really see in Kanti's anatomy the ability to wrap the shoulders. So the shoulders go away from the ears and they wrap, turning in. So it's like you're spinning the inner elbow forward. And then lift the right leg up. Draw the knee in toward your belly, chest, or nose. Hover forward and keep the hands that way. Great. Lift the leg back up. Take the leg across the body toward the left arm, and she aims pretty high and draws the belly in. Yeah. Lift the leg up. Take it toward the right arm. Great. Lift the leg back up and step the foot forward between the hands. So some of us will have to kind of work it there. Yeah, wiggle it up. Dip the hips and lift the heart and bring the shoulders down away from the ears. Nice. Take a deep breath in. And then straighten the front leg and bow toward the shin. And you can lift the top foot or keep it grounded. Take a big breath here into the back of the heart. And then bend that right knee again. And as you bend the right knee, draw your right hip back. Beautiful. And then lift your right arm up. So as you lift the right arm up, we're feeling that twist. Here, much like the pointer finger knuckle, she's going to root down through that big toe so that the knee stays in, yeah? And you can have your hand like a fist like she does, or on a block. If you don't have a block, you could use a book. And then place the right hand down. Pivot the back foot flat. Side angle, so that left arm will go alongside the ear and she'll spin the heart up. Now here she has her hand placed to the outside of the leg. She's going to push that right thigh against her bicep. You could also have your forearm on the thigh. Yeah, a little bit more space there in this one, but we're still nudging that right knee so that it's over the second and third toe. Great. And then let's frame the front foot again and go back to down dog with the suction cup hands, suction cup hands. Yeah. And so just feeling the pointer finger knuckle root down and the rest of the fingers move away from the floor. And they don't have to have a huge bend, but they're just moving away from the floor. We're feeling the fingertips really root, almost like you're going to give the earth a massage. And then left leg lifts. Draw the knee in toward the belly, the chest, or even the nose. Lift the leg back up. Take the leg across the body toward the right arm. Lift the leg back up. Take it toward your left arm. Lift the leg back up. And step the foot forward between the hands. And you might have to kind of get it there, wiggle it there. Great. Bend that front knee so it's right over her ankle. Lift the heart, shoulders down. Inhale. And then straighten that leg and move toward the shin. You could keep your foot grounded or flex it toward the sky. Take a big breath here into the back body, in the back of the heart. And then bend the knee. And as she does, she's really going to draw that left hip back and lift the left arm up. As she does, really root through the big toe mound of the left foot. And that helps to keep the knee in alignment with the hips. So Kanti's lean, but some of us that have more belly, you'll notice that your leg will come out a little bit more automatically. So we really have to work to root down through that big toe mound and support those beautiful bellies of ours. Inhale here. And then bring that left hand down, pivot the back foot kind of like warrior two, reach the right arm alongside the ear, side angle. So here she is, and she's opening that knee against her bicep, so it's tracking over the second and the third toe, or you could have your thigh and your arm rest. Yes, beautiful. Take another breath here, and then we'll frame that foot again. Down dog with the suction cups. Yeah. Yep, so really massaging the earth with your fingertips and rooting the pointer finger knuckles. That's great. And we're still wrapping the shoulders. Couple big breaths here. Mm-hmm. And then bringing the knees down, we're setting ourselves up for dolphin pose. So for the first dolphin, she'll bring her forearms down, elbows down, palms together like Anjali Mudra, or what people will say namaste hands, yeah? So you can keep your hands like this, which is what I prefer, or you could interlace your fingers and tuck your bottom pinky under, whatever allows you to feel really rooted. So before she goes up, her toes are tucked, but she'll lean her weight a little bit forward, push into her wrists, because the wrists are the part of the form that will want to come up, but keep the hands down as well, the fingers down. Feeling this part of the body, the back of the heart, almost like a tiny bit of a cat shape, so it expands there. And then pull the shoulders down away from the ears. So imagine pulling yourself forward and pushing in just as much. So you'll feel spaciousness at the back of the heart, and these muscles here, the serratus anterior and the lats, are really engaged. For some of us, this is more than enough. You might even shake here, depending on how much you're pushing, right? Other folks might lift the hips high, dolphin pose. So as she does that, she's going to walk a little bit forward, but I want her to try to relax her head, which is a challenge for most of us, yeah, especially when we're headstrong, yeah. We're pushing into the wrists. We're still drawing the shoulders down away, so these muscles are super engaged. You can see it in her anatomy, yeah. Couple more breaths here. I'm going to ask her to bend her knees actually and lift the sitting bones high. So did you see what just might have happened here? For the low back has its natural curve. She probably feels it. A little harder to see with this outfit, I think. And then engage the legs here. So you're lifting the kneecaps up, you know? And then the legs can straight-ish. Yeah, heels don't ever have to go to the floor in dolphin. Likely they won't. Couple more breaths. Strong to hold this, yeah, strong. And then rest or shift forward into forearm plank. Yeah. So she's going to wiggle her feet back, and you can see, and she could keep her hands the way they were, yeah. So here at first with this version of forearm plank, the palms are still together, rooting through the wrists because most of the weight's going to want to go to your elbows. And you can see she has a straight line here. She's drawing in at the belly button, so this part of the low back feels supported. Couple more breaths here. You could always, folks, put your knees down if this is intense. You know? And then I'll invite everyone, put your knees down, child's pose, child's pose. So hips toward the heels, her palms are still together. They'll go behind her head, thumbs touching the back of the neck. Mm-hmm. And so you can see, again, here in this more rounded shape, yeah, it's like a cat back. So you can breathe into the back body, into the back body. Knees can be together, or extra room for our sweet bellies, knees could be apart. And then the next version of dolphin that we're going to do, she'll shift forward, make sure that her elbows are forearms distance apart. So she'll put her forearms down, touch her elbows and go, okay, that's where my elbows should be. And then bring your hands out. If you have a block or a book, you can place them between your hands just so that the hands don't slip together. Now, as you can see, the wrists have space, right? So we're really, like the pointer finger knuckle, we're really going to try to ground down the inner wrist, which likely isn't going to go to the floor. But the idea is to put some effort there so that not all the weight goes to the elbows. Shift forward a smidge, tuck the toes under, push into the forearms and feel these shoulder blades broaden before you go up, before you go up. Pushing here, pushing the earth away so you get some broadness here. Yeah, puff up here. Good. And then feeling like the elbows will go toward the knees just a little bit. So if you're really pushing in and pulling, that's a lot. And so anybody with shoulder injury, this is where you would stay with the pushing into the forearm. So this part of the back expands and broadens, and then pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Others might tuck the toes under, lift the knees up. So forearm dog or another version of dolphin. It's called both. You can walk your feet 1-2 baby steps towards your face. So she's still going to have that nice curve in her low back by bending the knees and feeling the spine here. And then there's the push into the wrists. Likely they won't be down, right? But you're pushing and putting pressure there. And then the drawing of the shoulders away from the ears. And trying to keep the neck long with the head off the ground. It's a challenge, yeah? Drawing the belly in and up. And you might rest at any time or shift your feet back into forearm plank. Now knees could be down. And we're going to try to have that pushing into the wrists and the forearms enough so that the back here behind the heart feels like it's a tiny slight bit of a cat shape. Yeah? Drawing the belly in and up. And then everybody's knees down, child's pose, child's pose. So what we're doing here is called dolphin 3 ways, and it's how I rehabbed a shoulder injury of mine that was diagnosed as rotator cuff tendonitis. Yeah? And then we'll take this into a flow, giving us alternatives for jump back chaturanga, jump forward, all those things that might be fun, but over time can be taxing on the joint, especially the shoulder joint. All right, third and final one. Palms turn up, and the block or the book or whatever you have between here is really useful because you can push against it and try to open your thumbs toward the floor. So again, likely the part of the wrist that's by the thumb is not going to go completely flush to the floor, but we are putting weight there as we shift forward, pushing into the, yes, very good. And then pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Yes, really awesome. And then tucking the toes under, lifting the hips high, bending the knees, getting that nice natural curve in the low back, engaging the quads up away from the knees, and really feeling into this. And if you can relax the head, breathing, noticing. And if there's a little shake there, that would be very common. Yeah, this is the most external rotation that we are asking of our shoulder joints in a weight-bearing position. Only thing that would be more intense is if she kicked her legs up to the sky. So most of us are not going to have our thumbs to the floor. We're not going to have that inner wrist to the floor, but we're still opening that direction. Yeah. And then walking the toes back to this version of forearm plank with the palms up. And again, remember the knees could be up or down, your choice. We're breathing, we're feeling, we're focusing, we're noticing where the wrists are away from the floor, and we're opening our wrists and grounding them. And child's pose, knees down, rest, do whatever you want with your hands. And then suction cup down dog, that's what we'll call it. You might sway, you might pedal. It probably feels great to be in down dog after all the dolphins and the dolphin planks, forearm planks. And then look forward and walk or hop your feet toward your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, a little tiny bend to the knees. Great. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms pass through the heart, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out, bringing it into a flow. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, forearm plank. And now remember, knees could be down. We're going to shift to our left side, keeping the forearm down. So side plank, side forearm plank. Knees could be down if you needed. This is really engaging the core. She's going to lift through her hips. Awesome. Feeling all these muscles engage. One more breath in. Back to forearm plank. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Shifting onto the right side, forearm plank, side plank. Remember, knees could be down, or you could stagger your feet. That's also useful, yeah. Or stack them. Take another deep breath in. Exhale to forearm plank. Walk your feet towards your face, hips toward the sky, dolphin or forearm dog. Lift your right leg up. Inhale. Bring the foot down. Exhale. Lift your left leg up. Inhale. Bring the foot down. Exhale. Knees down, child's pose. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Suction cup, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Downward facing dog. Elbows are up. Long breath out. Look forward and walk or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale. Mountain pose. Again, friends, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to forearm plank. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Right side forearm plank. Stack or stagger your feet. Deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Exhale. Inhale, left side, forearm plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, back to forearm plank. Walk your feet forward, lift your hips high. Dolphin, forearm dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Left leg comes down. Right leg lifts, inhale. Right leg comes down. Knees down, child's pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Suction cup, down dog. Elbows are up. Toes tuck under. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Walk or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Mountain pose. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forearm plank. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Left side, side forearm plank. Deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Right side, deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Walk your toes towards you, hips high, dolphin or forearm dog. Right leg lifts. Inhale. Right foot down. Left leg lifts. Inhale. Left foot down. Knees down, child's pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Suction cup, downward facing dog. Feel that natural curve of the low back. Engage the thighs. Look forward. Walk or hop to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Mountain pose. 2 more. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Forearm plank. Right side, inhale here. Forearm plank. Left side, inhale here. Forearm plank. Toes walk forward, hips go high, dolphin. Left leg high, inhale. Foot comes down. Right leg high, inhale. Foot comes down, child's pose. Forehead toward the earth, hip toward the heels. Look forward, suction cup downward facing dog. Inhale here. Bend your knees, exhale. Look forward, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Root through your feet, rise up, inhale. Mountain pose, last one. Arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, long spine, nice. Forearm plank. Left side, side plank. Inhale here. Back to forearm plank. Right side, inhale here. Back to forearm plank. Feet walk forward, hips go high, right leg up, inhale. Foot comes down. Left leg up, inhale. Foot comes down, child's pose, hips to heels, toward heels. Forehead toward earth, deep breath in, long breath out, and then suction cup downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. So we're going to continue with this flow, but add in some alternatives. Walk or hop when you're ready to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale. Mountain pose. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Forearm plank. Right side, side plank. Take a deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Left side, side plank. Take a deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Walk your feet forward, your hips high in dolphin. Lift your left leg up. Some of you might do a couple kicks and maybe come halfway up with that right leg. Halfway, great. Draw the belly in. See if you can scissor the right leg up. Inhale here. Come down, child's pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Suction cup downward facing dog. And breathe. Notice the suction cups. Are your hands getting a little closer to the floor? Can you still root down the pointer finger knuckle? Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift on the inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Chair pose. Stand up, mountain, straight and strong. Breathe deeply. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Forearm plank. Left side, side plank. Take a deep breath in. Forearm plank. Right side, side plank. Take a deep breath in. Forearm plank. Walk your feet forward, your hips high. Right leg lifts, and maybe you do a few kicks, getting that foot halfway up. And then scissoring the left leg up. Take a deep breath in. Child's pose, nice work. Inhale here. Long exhale. Suction cup downward facing dog. And breathe, notice, feel. Look forward, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, my dears, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Stand up straight and strong, mountain pose. 2 more, chair pose, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. forearm plank. Right side forearm plank, side plank. Inhale here. Back to forearm plank. Left side, inhale here. Back to forearm plank. Butt goes high, feet walk forward, left leg lifts. Maybe you kick and try to get halfway up. Awesome. And then maybe all the way up. So good. Child's pose. I know she doesn't really need me, but I'm just here for support. Deep breath in. Long breath out. You can always do this against the wall too, which makes things way less scary. Suction cup, downward facing dog. Just noticing that energy in your body. Yep, nice, Kanti. Continuing to massage with your fingertips. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift on the inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Utkatasana, chair pose, inhale. Stand up, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Last one, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Forearm plank. Right side, side plank. Deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Left side. Deep breath in. Back to forearm plank. Dolphin or forearm dog, walking the feet forward. Right leg goes high. Maybe a few kicks. Maybe you come all the way up. This is Pincha Mayurasana, tail of the peacock. Her pants, yeah, peacock tail colored. Very beautiful. All right, you wore the right outfit. Okay, child's pose. Let's take 5 breaths here. So just notice whether you're kicking up into that pose or not. All of these inversions, even lifting the leg or whatever, they can be quite invigorating to the nervous system. They can feel, a little bit scary, a little bit unusual. We don't walk around on our hands typically. So just notice what comes up for you. And then suction cup, downward facing dog. Look forward, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift on the inhale, forward fold on the exhale, chair pose. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Deep breath in and long breath out. Great, chair pose. And so now we're going to focus on eagle, opening the arms to the sides, right arm goes underneath. And get that eagle wrap. So maybe your hands can go like Kanti's, or maybe you're just hugging yourself. That's an alternative to eagle too. And then right leg comes up and over. Now you could put your toes down so it's like a kickstand, it's extra support. You could wrap your foot behind, whatever works. Like that doesn't work for many bodies to wrap your foot behind. And here we're gonna focus on broadening those shoulder blades. So all her breath and her awareness go to the back of the heart. Back of the heart, some say, is where the shadow of Anahata chakra lives. Often, yogis would do sun salutations at the crack of dawn to illuminate the shadow, illuminate the spine. So when we think about Anahata chakra or heart chakra, a space of unlimited love and compassion, the shadow is unresolved grief. And so we'll take a few moments just breathing into that space. We don't have to try to fix anything. We don't have to psychoanalyze anything, but just breathe some space there. And then elbows slowly make their way towards your knees. Fly that right leg back through warrior 3. So it's strong through the core. She's going to draw this left hip back. And then land back. Now you could be on the tiptoes, kind of like crescent lunge or like warrior 1, whatever your body likes. And we're taking it into a bit of a back bend. So when we have eagle arms and we have a back bend, and you can see really well with her anatomy that she still has all this space behind the heart and still opening space here in the front of the heart. So there's an aspect of fortifying ourselves. All those forearm planks, side planks fortifies this whole shoulder girdle. So We need to be fortified in our heart chakra if we're really going to give from a true place, a true altruistic place, a place that doesn't have all these conditions placed on it, but a love that is more universal. Okay. And then I'll invite her to have that back heel come down. Humble warrior with eagle arms, head in the hands. So she's going to attempt to get that left shoulder inside her left knee and nudge her left knee open and put her head in her hands. Exactly. And then drawing that left hip back, it's a thing for the hips, likely. Yeah. But can we still breathe some space into the back of the heart? Yeah. Just stay here a couple more breaths. Great. And release your hands, suction cup downward facing dog. And then we're going to lower to our bellies. So if it's okay for your wrist today, you can shift forward plank and really slowly lower down. Mm-hmm. And then interlace your fingers by your tail. Place your forehead on the earth. Point your toes. So we'll think about the inner ankles having a wild love affair, and they want to be together. Mm-hmm. And think about the thumbs going all the way down the sternum, and so you're reaching for your feet. Yeah. Bring your head, neck, and shoulders up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So very opposite of what we've been focusing on now. The shoulder blades squeeze together. And then lifting the feet, maybe even the knees, and think about getting longer and then higher. So longer would be more important than higher in this one. Yeah. And taking a few breaths there, really strengthening that back body, opening the front body. Mm-hmm. And then rest, child's pose. Great. When you're ready, suction cup downward facing dog. And then looking forward, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair pose, Utkatasana. Preparing for eagle, so arms open. Left arm goes under. Remember, you can wrap your hands, reaching for your right hand with your left fingertips or hug your shoulders. And then left leg goes up and over, and you can kickstand so the toes are down, help with the balance a little bit so that we can focus more on the anatomy, not worrying so much about falling over. Really direct your breath to the back of the heart. Feel broadness there. And then also feel a sense of moving the elbows away from the chest and the fingertips up. So if you think about this position, whether you're hugging your arms or you're in the eagle arm wrap, you're gathering toward yourself, gathering in energy. Yeah, in energy. Our arms are extensions of our heart. So gathering all that back in, collecting the parts of ourselves that tend to get marginalized through society, of course. And also in our own experience, we marginalize parts of ourselves that we'd rather not deal with, especially around unresolved grief. Yeah? So we're just breathing, collecting ourselves. And then elbows make their way toward the knees. This is called humble eagle. Through humility, we learn to fly. That left leg comes back. Right hip draws back. She lands. Ball of the foot, or the foot could be like warrior one, taking it into a bit of a back bend. So here, exposing more of the front of the heart with awareness of all that energy at the back of the heart. A couple more breaths here, feeling the balance between what are you gathering in, what are you allowing to come outward. Back heel comes down like warrior two, humble warrior with eagle arms. Her right shoulder goes inside the right knee if possible. Head in the hands, you're kind of nudging that knee open, drawing the right hip back. You should definitely feel your right hip here, but can you still breathe some space into the back of the heart? We won't stay very long. A few more breaths. And then come back to a suction cup down dog. We're coming onto our belly. So again, if it's okay for your wrists and shoulders, you can shift forward plank and super slow, lower down. And then this time, we'll bend the knees and see if we can reach back for the feet. If this is not available to your body, go ahead and do locust pose, which we did just before by interlacing the fingers by the tail. If you can reach your heels, whether you're reaching from the outside or the inside, great. The ankles, yeah. Then you can flex your feet like Kanti's doing. And then kick the feet into the hand. Your knees will lift up. Let your heart lift up. Knees tend to widen here, and we don't want to force them together, but we also don't want to be opening them on purpose. Yeah? So again, you'll see her shoulder blades squeeze together, open at the front of the heart. Yeah. Kick, 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 and breathe the best you can in and out through the nose with that Ujjayi pranayama. We're going to stay 5 more breaths. Every exhale could be a little bit of a kick, come up a little bit higher. Yeah. Every inhale might relax the pose a bit. And then on the exhale, expand the pose. Awesome. And then rest and relax. You might windshield wiper your legs. You might create a pillow for your forehead. And then child's pose. And so I'm going to stay a little extra time in child's pose. Here you might have your knees quite wide, feet together, knees quite wide, feet together. And we'll come to a pose named for the heart chakra, Anahata Asana. So as she comes up, toes tuck under. And walk your fingertips way far forward. Mm-hmm. And keep your, so you can see almost a cow shape to her back already. The sitting bone's lifting up and her hips are above her knees. Try to bring the chest and the chin toward the floor. And if that doesn't work for you, you could put a pillow underneath you, or you could put your forehead down, because for some of us, the neck doesn't love this. And so her hips are shifting a little bit forward, and that's okay. Yeah, shifting a little bit forward of the knees, getting this beautiful sensation. Yeah, quiver. Mm-hmm. Shoulders away from the ears as much as you can. I know, struggle. And so getting this beautiful shape here where the heart is to the earth, the back is in this really lovely hollowed out shape, concave shape. Great. And then to get out of the pose, we're coming forward into Sphinx. Forward into Sphinx. So using that strength. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. So a lot of folks will think Sphinx pose isn't much of a back bend when it actually is. It's very fortifying and very strengthening for the body and the shoulder girdle. And if we can relax our butt a little bit here and engage the front of the legs. So sometimes not the back of the legs. Yeah. Sometimes if we lift our knees up and engage the front of the legs here, we can allow the butt to relax some. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, a fortifying back bend, fortifying that heart chakra. How often in life do we give, and then even if you love giving, you get depleted. And so you come from a space that's not fortified, doesn't have good boundaries, and we overgive, which ends up typically causing resentment and burnout. Great. And then forehead comes to the earth, long prostration. Palms come forward. They might take that Anjali Mudra shape, or they might turn up, whatever feels good to you. Yeah. So asana, one limb of a yoga practice, the one here in the West we focus the most on for sure, really just prepares our bodies so that we can sit longer in meditation and explore some of the other limbs of yoga that often in our culture get overlooked. Yeah. So true hatha yoga isn't just asana. It includes the breath, it includes meditation, mantra, many other practices that can really awaken us to our path, really help us to connect with spirit, with divinity, with the God of our own understanding. But most of us need the physical practice before we can invite in stillness. So here in this beautiful posture of offering, this long prostration, you're offering your heart to the earth, to the mother. Palms turned up in this gesture of Anjali, receiving any boon from the practice, any boon. Sometimes we miss the boons because they're not what we think we want. But when we get still enough, we really recognize the boon or the blessing, the gift of our practice. And from here, as gently as possible, head facing the same direction, roll over onto your backs. Bend your knees, place your heels in toward your hips. Grab the edges of your mat, curl your forefingers under, thumbs on top. Make sure that your toes feel like your heels might be a tiny smidge wider than your toes, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then lift your hips up and wiggle your shoulders underneath you. And you can stay here with your hands reaching for the mat, or you can interlace your fingers behind your back. If that's available to your body, bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. And you can stay here just like this, my friends, or you can support your low back with the heels of your hands. Wiggling those elbows toward one another, shoulders down, lifting the right leg up. You could switch sides or lift the left leg up so that both legs are up to the sky. This is a variation of shoulder stand where you could stay, or you could lift your hips higher, wiggling your hands so that they're really, the heels of the hands are on the back of the ribs, fingertips toward the hips. Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. And you could always place a block underneath your sacrum, legs up to the sky, or legs up the wall. So after a practice that is really fortifying our shoulder joints, this is a beautiful pose to end with. Yeah, she's going toward Halasana, plow pose. You want the block? No. So for me, plow pose, that extension of those muscles along the spine often isn't indicated in my body. And so another alternative to what Kanti is doing is to have a block underneath the sacrum, shoulders walked under you, and the toes up to the sky. So Vripta Karani, or legs up the wall. And so we'll just stay for about 10 more breaths, really trying to soak up this. This pose is known as the queen of all yoga poses. The energy returns back into self, into self. So today's practice, we've fortified our shoulder joints, which helps to fortify the heart chakra, to allow us to be aware of our boundaries and our tendency perhaps to overgive. And know that we need so much strength to be vulnerable. There's such strength in vulnerability and being open to receiving whatever boon the universe has in store for us, whatever gift of our practice. And at some point when you feel ready, putting the feet back down, removing the block or rolling down if you were in plow. We're going to meet with just our arms up overhead, grabbing opposite elbows, and the knees come in like a tent, the feet a little wider than the hips. And so feel this pose with the arms up over your head. Can you allow your shoulders to relax? Could you feel cradled by Mother Earth? Could you feel supported enough to allow the front of the heart to disarm the armor that we build around our heart chakra? Breathing into that space. In Shavasana, corpse pose. May this practice fortify you. May this practice be an offering to settle our nervous systems and our minds enough that we show up in a good way and we notice all the gifts the universe provides. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Paz. In the spirit of our collective healing and liberation, we say, Ashe, Amin, Amen, blessed be, Kapu Aloha, in Lakach, Satnam, Namaste, Mitakuyasan, Black Lives Matter.